Hey, Lauren Hughes here with Integrity Home Group and Keller Williams. Today, I've got my arms dirty, or not in a great place. And the reason being is mold. Who's heard of mold? Everybody? Who's had mold in their house? Who hates mold? Me. So luckily for most of us are in Colorado, and we have a dry, beautiful dry climate, so we don't have to worry about mold issues, or we don't have to as much as the rest of the country. And one of my properties, I'm a licensed broker in Colorado, and I'm also a real estate investor, and I have investments in Georgia and the Caribbean. And Georgia and the Caribbean have very humid climates. And so while I have two mold stories, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, and we don't need to, I can have a drink later and I can deal with my mold issues in my second house that I'm now having to deal with. I got a call this morning saying that mold had taken over everywhere in the Caribbean, and it's my short-term rental, the Airbnb, VRBO, the short-term rental that I have down in the Caribbean. And I have someone, when someone's not renting it, I have someone checking on the property at least a couple times a week to check for mold, because it happens, and it happens fast. And in the Caribbean, it's just like everything goes gangbusters so fast. And it's been raining a lot. We've actually had a really rainy season this year, or I don't feel like we've gotten more rain than normal, but for whatever reason, my house isn't drying, roof's leaking, it's just, there's moisture everywhere. And anyway, so today I got the pictures and I got the videos, and there's mold all over my house. So other than not being thrilled, there's a couple things you can do when you're buying a house, or, if you're in Colorado, it's not as important, but if you're in a southern, or anywhere in the US or anywhere in the world that has a high humid climate, you definitely want to get a home inspection that includes like looking for mold and looking for mold spores, and make sure that inspector knows what to look for, and they just know what they're doing. Colorado, I have not run into mold issues in newer homes, maybe in some older homes where there's like a leak in the wall, but it's not normal. So I'd say if you do your normal inspections and your normal maintenance for a home, you're not going to really run into it. Not like the Caribbean, where we do everything right and then it rains a lot, and it rains hard. So a few things that we're doing to remediate the mold is my advice is I'm not a licensed mold exterminator or whatever they're called. And also, but I am a scientist. I am a trained chemist and biochemist, and be careful, because mold can be a sensitizer. It can be, the more you're around it, the more sensitive you get to it. So my husband learned this the hard way when he tried to remediate our home in Georgia. We had a basement, and that was unfinished, shut off, and got really wet, and we didn't know it, and mold went everywhere. And I think we got quotes in the like $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 range, and he's like, I'm not paying that, I'm going to do it myself. He did it with a respirator, which is minimum, and gloves, but now he has a mold allergy because he did that, and so he can't even go into a home that has mold. So that brings us to our next conundrum with the home in Roatan. And anyway, the point being is, be careful if you're going to remediate yourself. Hiring a professional is advised. You might have to take out a loan, or you can just avoid the situation in the whole first place by inspecting your home regularly, and with the exception of Roatan, it's just every couple days because it'll take hold. But if you do have a home in the US, is to keep air circulating. You want to keep your moisture below 50%. That's easy in Colorado. And you don't want the air to be stagnant, so keep fans on. If you have a dehumidifier, that's great. In Roatan, that happens to be very expensive, so we don't have that. But those are a few items you can do to mitigate mold and mold growth in your house. And if you have it, or looking at a home that has it, make sure that is gone before you put in an offer, because it can be a costly fix that is going to be a buyer beware type situation, and the money's on you. So thanks, guys.